So looking at this geometry a little more carefully, the geometry of two views constrains where the corresponding pixel will be. So the point P that projects into the image, well, it could be out here in the world, that red point P. Or it could be at P1, or it could be at P2, or it could be anywhere along that ray in the left image which projects to that line in the right image. That line is called the epipolar line. This line is carved out by the plane that contains both image centers and the actual point, or just this ray. That plane intersecting the image plane, and the intersection of two planes is a line, that's the epipolar line. Now, of course, the reverse is also true, right? So that same plane corresponds to this epipolar line, okay? These corresponding set of lines, these corresponding set of epipolar lines, provide the constraint that we're looking for. Any point in this image that's on this line, its match must be somewhere on that line and vice versa. And this is called the epipolar constraint. In epipolar geometry, there are a variety of terms that we use all the time, and you should become familiar with them. First is the baseline, which is just the line or the ray in space that joins the two camera centers. The epipolar plane for a given point, I probably should say for a given point, contains the baseline and that point. So this point, this camera center, that defines a plane, and that's our epipolar plane for that point. As we showed before, the epipolar line is an intersection of the epipolar plane of a given point with the image plane. It really should say the image planes because there's always a pair of epipolar lines. Corresponding epipolar lines are, if you have a point on one epipolar line, then, or if you have a point, you figure out its epipolar line, and its matching point must be on the corresponding epipolar line in the other image. Finally, we have something that we haven't talked about before, which is called the epipole. The epipole is the intersection of the baseline ray with the image plane. So assuming the image plane is big enough, right, the image plane is small, it might not, but if the image plane were big enough, it would intersect the image plane there. So you should be clear, right, that since all of the epipolar planes intersect the epipoles, because it contains this ray, that means that every epipolar line will also intersect the epipoles. We're actually going to see that in just a minute.